And welcome to another video on my channel. This is going to be a prediction video for the Premier League for the 16-17 season, and with the games starting tomorrow, we're going to get right into this with our predictions, which could actually be the most unpredictable season ever in the Premier League. I mean, we had Leicester winning the league last year. I mean, I don't know if we're going to see that kind of thing again this year, but again, it could be anything. I mean, it's such an unpredictable league, the Premier League. And I mean, it's such a good league to watch. Like, there's about 8 or 9 teams that could actually go on to maybe battle for top 4 or even win the league. So let's jump into it. We're gonna have a look at the bottom half of the table first, and then the top half. So let's go and have a look at the bottom half. So here's what I think the bottom half of the Premier League table is going to look like. And at the very bottom, I do think Burnley are going to be there. Although they just made a decent signing today as Defer from Anderlecht. In Belgium there. That was a good signing. I mean, it could do a little bit for them. I mean, them and Hull, I think, are going to have a really rough time, and I think they're going to be quite a ways behind the others. But I believe, you know, above that, I think we got Sunderland, Watford, Bournemouth, and Swansea. I think that's going to be kind of the battle to stay up. Those 4 in there. Bournemouth, I mean, all these teams are so good. Swansea's lost Andre Ayew. I think, you know, he was their top goal scorer. It's going to be a rough year for Swansea. They did just make a record signing, though, at the Liberty Stadium, so we'll see how they get on. Watford, again, just a decent side. Bournemouth, decent side. West Bromwich Albion, they always find a way, in my opinion. I mean, they're not really a pop-out team. Tony Pulis' men aren't really a pop-out team at WBA, but, you know, they're just a good side in general. And they always find a way to get things done and stay in the Premier League and at a decent rate as well. They never are really near the relegation zone, and that's a big thing for West Bromwich Albion. And then we got 11 through 13. We got Palace, Middlesbrough, and Stoke City. And in my opinion, though, you got any of these 3 teams can finish in those spots. I mean, I just put them where they are because I feel like that's a fair thing. Stoke haven't been overly busy in the transfer window. Middlesbrough have been probably one of the busiest Premier League teams in the transfer window. And that's why I put Middlesbrough into 12th. I feel like they're going to have actually a really good season. They brought in some really big players. And, I mean, I feel like they've got a core of a side now that can be almost top 10 in the Premier League. They could actually even hit the top 10 mark. Just that top 10 is so hard to predict in the Premier League. And but I feel like Middlesbrough are going to have a really nice first season back in the Premier League after I think it was over 10 years they haven't been in the Premier League. So it'll be their first time back in 10 years, and I think they're going to have a really solid season. And I think Alan Pardews' men at Crystal Palace are going to do. I think they're going to do pretty good. I know the loss of you know, it looks like they might lose Yannick Bolasie. I don't think that deal's completed yet. And but I mean, I think Crystal Palace are going to do fine. Stoke City's going to do fine. They got Shaqiri as well. I think Shaqiri could definitely help Stoke into a top 10 spot. But again, it's just so hard to predict where these teams are going to finish. So I put Stoke 13th, Middlesbrough 12th, Crystal Palace 11th. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for the bottom half of the table. Let's go on to the top half. Alright, so here's the top half of the Premier League table for what I think is going to be during the 16-17 season. And yeah, I mean, this was probably the hardest thing I've had to do ever, is trying to predict, you know, where these teams are going to finish this season in the top 10. It's so hard. You know, I got teams that I would have you know, any of the top 10 could be battling for top 4 this season. I mean, it's unreal. It's really tough. It was really tough, you know, to make the choices of where these teams are going to finish. But I did put Southampton 10th. You know, a good side. I think they're a solid team. I think that they'll keep a top 10 status. I mean, they got a decent striker in Shane Long, and a decent core of a side. I know they lost Pella, went over, I think, to China. Wanyama went to Tottenham. I mean, big losses there. But I still feel like they're going to be able to gut out results, and that's what Southampton do. Mane also leaving. But Liverpool, Mane, who actually I just mentioned Mane, who went to Liverpool. I think Liverpool could finish much higher than this. 9th place, I mean, it's a bit criminal, but if you look at ahead, it's just so hard to predict where any of the teams in this top 9 are going to finish. So it's probably, yeah, again, the hardest thing I've had to do in a long time. But Liverpool, I think if Sturridge can stay fit, if Mane can, like, be consistent on form, I think we could see Liverpool battling for that top 4, no matter, you know, no doubt about it. And also West Ham United, I felt criminal for putting them all the way down in 8th. I think they're going to do much better than that. I mean, I think they can do much better than that, but I feel like maybe they won't. But just with the big name squads ahead of them, I don't know if they'll get higher than 8th. They definitely could be top 4. I mean, they got Dimitri Payet, Andre Ayew just going there, great signing. Torre and Faguli, some really big players just joined up with West Ham, a really strong side at West Ham, and it's going to be really tough to really, know where they're going to finish. Spurs 7th, again, I mean, this is a team that finished 3rd last season in the Premier League. Everton 6th. I feel like Everton, with their, the new manager, Ronald Koeman, coming in, some good new signings, I think Everton could be battling up near for the top 4 as well. I think they'll be kind of where Moyes had them a few years ago. Leicester City, the former Premier League champions, I don't think they're going to go for the Premier League 2 years in a row. But a top 5, I think they're going to do 5th. I think Ranieri's going to still have a really good squad. I mean, Musa looks really good. Jamie Vardy looks really good. Mahrez looks like he's going to stay. Drinkwater's going to be there. Schmeichel in between the sticks. I mean, it's going to be a great season for Leicester, I think. I don't know if it'll be quite as good as last year, but it's going to be a good season nonetheless. And I mean, every Arsenal fan right now is going to really hate me for this, but a 4th place for Arsenal I think is fair. I think, you got Chelsea, they brought in a few new good players. Arsenal, in my opinion, they haven't really. It looks like they might be trying to get Mustafi, which would be a really good signing. He's a decent center back. And, Xhaka's a great center mid signing as well. But, I mean, they again, Arsenal didn't go ahead and get themselves a big name striker. And, I mean, Giroud is pretty good, don't get me wrong. I don't mind Giroud. I know a lot of people are really against Giroud, but I think he's a decent striker if the team plays the way that Giroud needs them to play. And Arsenal really do not play that style. And I think they're going to really struggle up front. I mean, I think Ozil, again, is going to have a great season. And I believe Arsenal are just going to be a really good team this year, but I don't know if they're going to have what it takes to beat out the Manchesters and Chelsea. And yeah, so that's why I put Arsenal in 4th. And in 3rd, we have got Chelsea. I don't think they're going to quite have the caliber of the top 2, but I think under Conte, they're going to be better. I mean, I can't see them doing any worse than last year. That 10th place was really, really rough for Chelsea. And being a Chelsea fan myself, I was really gutted about that. But, I'm coming into the season a lot more positive about how Chelsea are going to be this season. And hopefully we get a win on, I believe it's Monday, against West Ham United. But for the title, it's going to be a Manchester duel. I mean, Manchester United just splashing, I don't even know the figure, but a world record amount for Paul Pogba in the center midfield. And Zlatan Ibrahimovic up front. I mean, that's just a scary looking team already. Also, Mkhitaryan, a good signing as well. I think Manchester City, though, they've brought in a lot of good players. I think Leroy Sané is definitely a player to look out for in the Premier League. I think he's going to be really good. He's got that quick pace, great counter-attacking, and he's really good at that. And I think Manchester City are going to really benefit from that signing as well. But I really think that United are going to get the edge. I think, you got Ibra, who's going to just get those scrappy last-minute goals to get the 3 points on the day. And I think for that, Manchester United are going to have a really good season this year and really kind of put the, these last few years in the past and kind of get back to their glory where they should be. I mean, they should be battling for the title. And I think they're going to definitely do that this season, or they should. They really should. And yeah, especially with the acquisition of Paul Pogba and Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Mkhitaryan. I really think Manchester United fans should have a really positive attitude going into the season. Alright everybody, so that does it for this video of my predictions for the 2016-17 Premier League season. Let me know if you agree with where I put sides in the table, and if you don't agree, let me know down in the comments down below what you think is going to happen in this Premier League season. Subscribe if you're new, and until next time guys, take care.